Hey everybody, welcome back to The Lily Speaks. I wanted to give this disclaimer before starting. I am not a medical physician, I'm not a dermatologist, I'm not even a dietitian. Everything I'm expressing is things that I've tried for myself or things that I've seen proven to work for me, or even what I've heard work for other people. Before I head to Pilates, I wanted to record this video. I haven't done a eczema update in a while. I did a brief one a couple of months ago. It was an all-around life update, and I included eczema in the very first part of it, but I wanted to add something that was a bit more specific to that content alone, because I know a lot of you guys have followed me because of eczema content, and I know that I've privated some of the previous videos simply because I felt that my initial purpose of creating those eczema videos were to use myself as a quote-unquote guinea pig. And because I've grown so much and I've given myself some time over the years since starting that series, I've given myself some time to really reflect on how things are working for me, not being rushed by other people, because it would feel, sometimes when uploading videos, it will feel like I'm kind of being rushed. You know, someone's asking for an update after just uploading a video, or asking consistently. So I just took some time back so that I could actually assess what I was doing, see what was going wrong, see what was working for myself. Now I want to really focus in on the things that are working and have been proven to be helpful, and less on me as a guinea pig. One of the major things that I've seen that has been very helpful in my eczema journey is, well, my diet and what I'm intaking, and then also how I'm taking care of my body on the outside. I realized that a lot of the time when I was having eczema flare-ups or things, I would slap some oil or cream or whatever on it, and you know, I wouldn't really be as dedicated to my whole body care process. But that is something that's very important, because our skin sheds, our skin sheds. Yeah, I said that right. We need to have a consistent routine of cleansing our skin, exfoliating our skin, and then also moisturizing and using even treatment products. Through that entire series, it really helped me to, and inspired me to create my own products, because all I used were mainly natural products, fragrance free. I remember growing up, all I would do is, I really loved the Bath and Body Works because everybody had Bath and Body Works and I wanted to partake in it, but it had those strong fragrances that weren't good for me and would cause flare-ups and cause me to itch. One of the first things that would be really helpful for me were implement a body care routine. My Lily Shea products, this is actually my black soap. As you can see, I use it all up. There's still some in there. It's just a liquid black soap, and it also has some essential oils in them to kind of do that double cleansing method. I realized double cleansing is really good, so including a little bit of those oils and that black soap cleanser that literally strips you of oils has really been helpful for my skin and over the last couple years, and so I figured that I would make my own. But my Lily Shea Bounce Back Butter, I probably have a clip of a little sample that I just take everywhere with me. After I get out the shower, that's the first thing that I put on. And I feel like some people may neglect how crucial it is to moisturize your skin. Even though it doesn't necessarily quote unquote treat eczema, it has worked for me, and I've seen for other people where when they moisturize their skin, they'll lather up, let it sit, let their skin soak it up, then they're able to reap the benefits the rest of the day without being super dry. I remember I used to have a lot of lines and cracks on my skin, and I realize now that it's because I wasn't moisturizing the best. Next, my diet. So my diet, I would say, is really proven to be the best during that time period of where I had that series. And I'll even add this video to that series because I'm trying to start fresh. It was pre-pandemic, kind of segueing into the pandemic, but mostly pre-pandemic. I was the vegan pescatarian person. No one could tell me anything. I restricted myself from dairy. I restricted myself from gluten. I restricted myself from even sodas. I've gotten back to some of those things, and meats, and my skin, I feel, was the clearest in that time, and my energy level felt better also. When the pandemic happened, it really pushed me to work from home, which I had never done before. I've always worked in the office before 2020, and having that comfortability of your home and your house, it made me order DoorDash. It made me order all these other places from all these other places with these delivery contact, no delivery contact apps, and it made me cultivate bad habits that I'm rectifying and controlling and correcting now. And I inspire pre-2020 me. She was doing it, okay? But I will say that as I'm segueing back into that, I'm making sure I'm eating foods that give me energy, because I realized I was depriving myself and I was feeling miserable and cranky, even though I was restricting myself from these things, but I wasn't supplementing for maybe the protein or supplementing for the things that I needed as far as nutrients. So taking my vitamins, taking a multivitamin in addition to supplements, and I literally have the same supplement. One of the first supplements that I talked about in that series was called apopectine powder, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Apopectin powder, one of those. And when my hands were like the most cracked and hard to move and dark, apopectin powder was the thing that really helped me, and black seed oil. Apopectin powder and black seed oil were the first two supplements that I started to use in relation to my eczema. I wanted to see what helped when I didn't any longer use steroid creams. So I went into those things, combined with how well I was eating and how much water I was drinking. My hands were the clearest that they had ever been, and prior to that, my hands had never broken out. And so those two supplements, they're my ride or dies. I may not be using them every day like I was, but as I'm changing things, I'm just going to go back to the basics of me. Sometimes when you're taking supplements, they are starting to work on the inside of your body, and then once they start to work on the inside of your body, it's going to try to remove those toxins that are inside, and those toxins are going to show onto your skin. And a lot of times people may think, well, this isn't working. This isn't working out for me because I have blisters, I have dark spots coming up after the blisters, I have bumps, or whatever the effect of that detox is. You may not think that those supplements are working, but I would say to just think that this is how I've thought about it. The supplements that I have used that have put the stuff on my skin and my skin started to break out the most, that was the moment where my skin and my body were cleansing. Noticed that my skin was the most broken out as it's ever been. I have some footage. I cannot find the SD card for the life of me, and I had to find that footage because I was documenting my skin in 2020 and how broken out it was. Like the clearness that you see now, no, I was dark black, and I might include some clips. Dark, hands were dark while I had my regular color, and then my arms were dark. Food and supplements are very major. I would say don't take too much, because you never know how some ingredients react to other ingredients. Don't be a supplement junkie. Just make sure you're eating clean and whole foods. That was my biggest takeaway from my experience. The biggest takeaway of this experience is that I'm gonna do it again. Okay. Include lymphatic massages, lymphatic drainage. Now our lymphatic system is kind of like the garbage disposal of our body. We have them in all of our joint or bendable areas. So there's a lymphatic drainage under your armpits. There's a lymphatic drainage in your crease of your elbows. There's a lymphatic drainage somewhere in here. There's one under your kneecaps. And I believe there's one in the hand. I believe there's one right here. And so when our body isn't adequately detoxing the chemicals and the toxins, especially with what we're consuming in our foods, that tends to get trapped into our body, and our body reacts to it because it's not natural. And one of my biggest things for myself have been to incorporate, like I said, whole foods, less chemical driven foods. What's the word? There's a word that I be using. Production. Factory. I'm gonna find a word and we're gonna put it up here. I don't believe that God intended for us to eat a lot of the foods that we're eating, and I believe that a lot of the foods that we're eating is really bad for us. Be mindful of what you're eating. I've had too many family members pass away from conditions that were affected by how they were eating, and this is one of my major drives, that because I want to live a healthier life, I want to live longer life, and so I'm trying to clean up any habits that I have that will be alternate to that. Brush, and I haven't done it as consistently, but in one of my previous videos I went to a nearby spa and they had lymphatic drainage as a option. If you don't want to do it, there's definitely people who hold services for that. I will link that video above so you're able to see what that process was like for me, what the lady was saying if she was speaking, and but there are plenty of YouTube videos online that show you what kind of brush to have. And right before you shower, there's people who do the lymphatic drainage to get their circulation in those joints, and I believe people even do it before and after. You know how earlier I mentioned cleansing, exfoliating, moisturizing? I always have a regular washcloth for my bootay, and then I have the exfoliant gloves, or now the little exfoliant like Brillo pad for the body, for affected areas, and I feel like that's really helped me with getting clear skin. Also, in addition to that, I will say something that I mentioned in my previous life update video when I mentioned bits and pieces about my eczema. I have started using the steroid cream again. I do not use it how I used it before. When I used it before all of this happened, I would use it every day. I would slather so much on my body in every area. It would just be all over me. The way that I do use it now, because I'm mentioning this just for transparency's sake, because I know my biggest platform before was healing it naturally, but I'm just combining different methods. I saw someone mentioning in my comments previously that they actually started to use their steroid cream again, but cleaned how they were eating, and then when they stopped using the cream, it went away. And I'm not sure all the specifics, but I figured out I wanted to try that for myself with my own little nits and tricks. And so I've had the same tube for maybe about 5 months. I don't really touch it. I do use it, however, on my hands a little bit at a time, just to kind of get a little overall thing, and then I lather myself in shea butter, and then I may not use it again for maybe another month or maybe 2 months, but I use that as like a quick, as something to help aid me. One of my newer supplements that I'm using, this is L-glutamine. And one of my biggest things that I talk about on here is that your gut is related to your health of your body. And I realized that was one of my realizations with eczema. My immune system, my gut, probiotics are very helpful in cultivating into my routine. If I'm not being mindful of my gut, I'm not mindful of my immune system, I'm not mindful for my skin, my hair, anything else that's attached to me. I feel like the gut is a very large central place to be mindful of, and L-glutamine is really good. I use it every day. I put it in my water. It doesn't really have a flavor, and I go about my day, and the bloat that I used to have just sticking out is lessened when I take L-glutamine. I'm more likely to see my stomach flat. And lastly, something I wanted to mention that has helped my skin progress is working out. It's very good to stay active, because staying active in the gym, with your body, if you work out from home, is very influential to how you're detoxing your body. And so I've gotten into Pilates. A lot of the workouts that I were doing pre-pandemic and during the pandemic in my home gym, they were very similar to Pilates. So I ended up getting to Pilates for modeling and pageant reasons. It has also been aiding with sweating. Sweating is detoxing, so getting all that gunk and nasty stuff out of your body. Probiotics. I know I'm all over the place with this entire video, but probiotics is also a supplement that will be very helpful for your body, and it's something that I still rely on to this day. It's good bacteria that goes into your gut, and it fights kind of like the bad bacteria. And so if I have more good bacteria in my gut than bad bacteria, I'm going to be able to also detox. I'm going to also be able to get that fermentation, and some good basic cheap probiotics would be like kimchi or sauerkraut. Those are my go-tos, and those are something that I include in my diet. So on the topic of detoxing, I like to detox with different teas. Sea moss is really good. Sea moss has proven to help me. I used to make my own sea moss during the pandemic when I was on my real natural growth flow. So make sure you have a consistent cycle of taking care of your body. Make sure you have a consistent cycle of being mindful of what you're eating, what supplements you're taking. Take some probiotics, detox teas. Make sure that you're active, because you can't get the results of overall health in any area if you're not working out, if you're not stretching, if you're not sweating. Those are very fundamental in your overall health and your overall skin journey. Educating yourself. I've educated myself on a lot of things, and there's resources that I'm intending to produce with the knowledge that I've gained so that I can provide that on the platter for you guys. But just remember, I am not a dermatologist. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not even your everyday physician that you should go to when you need a checkup. So I can't recommend. I can just only share what I like, what I'm using, and present that to you guys. Thank you guys for watching this video. I have to actually get ready for Pilates and put my little claw clip in. But thank you for watching this video. If it wasn't informative, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe, and we're rolling, baby. Excited to be with you on this journey of the Lily Speaks. Thank you for watching, and have a great day today, guys. Bye.